should put them right next to her.
Okay. No problem.
We're good to go.
Good morning. This is a regular scheduled meeting of Griggs County Commission meeting, February 10th, 2025 at 9:31. Everybody, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, people. Do a roll call. Lauren? Here. Evans?
Here.
Averill?
Here.
Ellison?
Here.
And Tranby's here, so. Need a motion to approve the agenda. I'm gonna add a couple things to it here, so. Form out in Bismarck, I'll discuss that. I'll add that to the agenda last week. And then, Jamie's got some things to talk about. Jamie, yeah. Oh, there's Jamie. Jamie Tennyson, the state attorney's got a couple things to talk about too. So on that
I
one.
already have been on this one.
He's agenda, but he's got a couple other things.
I got one
to
other thing I went
add
to regarding
to
National Association of
counties too, so another thing on that too. And then, Bob Hook wants to talk a little bit about grant writing a little bit too. That one, he'll probably be available by phone here in a little bit. We'll get to him, so we'll discuss that too. Anyway, anything else, guys? Agenda? Yeah. Motion, we have a motion to approve it.
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second? Okay. First by Averill, second by Zorn. All in favor of approving the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Okay. Let me take a peek at the January 27th meeting minutes, please. Difference or corrections with it.
I make a motion to approve the minutes and dispense with the reading.
Second.
Nope. Motion by Edlin to approve the meeting minutes as presented. Ellison, sorry. Seconded. Any discussion, guys? Looks good. Discussion. Okay, all in favor, approving the minutes? as presented?
Aye.
Aye. Same sign, motion carried. Okay. Bill. Okay, let's take a peek to the bills, please. Anything that stands out, Sam?
No, there is one in here for for Griggs County, for that 59,988.88, and that is the pickup.
Yeah.
We did a treasurer's check for it, and then we got it written through here, so that's that one.
Okay,
Nothing else that I see in. And I did ask if they would be able to do that balance on there, and they are not able to do that for us.
Really?
They can, it's something that they can look into in the future to do that, but the way that the system works, we won't be able to get that.
You can, it'll show in the monthly reports though, when you upload monthly reports, when that get there.
We'll get there, so in the process.
Make a motion to approve the invoices.
that was motion by Edlin to approve the bills. Do I have a second?
I'll second them.
Okay, second by Bill. Let's see here. Maybe
There's
we'll
road engineering,
go ahead, Lauren.
Which one?
that's $4,800. Said road engineering.
It's going to NDDOT.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. I guess I see the amount. It's enough.
$4,800.
It could be, it's probably paying the DOT back for the,
Oh, that's what it
oh,
was.
no,
It was for
That's not-
painting the bridge,
Is it this one?
actually,
bridge inspections.
Oh,
oh,
For the
yeah,
bridge
that's not
inspection.
actually.
okay, gotcha. Good enough.
Okay. That's fine.
Excuse me,
Engineering.
sorry.
No.
I saw it went to the DOT, that's why.
Nope.
So this will be a roll call vote. Zorn,
Aye.
Steph.
Aye.
Gabriel.
Aye.
Aye.
And Charlie votes aye. So, motion carried. Okay. Next up is the RS 911C Owen and KLJ Bronson Road Department and pickup bid opening. Yeah, right?
A lot more than that. But
Yeah, I know, just,
anyway, this is the bridge bids. Not everybody's. They're the contractors that did our Decker Bridge. Robert R. Schroeder Construction Company, $1,968,316.44. Industrial Builders, $2,029,069.15. Swingen Construction, $2,368,107. And the engineer's estimate, I guess, was $2,097.10. So I think we got a pretty good price on that. It's gonna be covered by federal highway, so it's really good. The highway. So when do you think? We had the end of construction period.
Yeah, October 2026, October, I think 3rd, 2026, whatever that Saturday and the first week of October is. So the contractor had talked about potentially starting this fall and doing like the channel work and that kind of stuff, and years in, hopefully, and then they would finish like the deck in the spring of 26.
Before we do that, we should agree upon who's gonna do the engineering.
correct. Do we need a?
Selection committee met with the KLJ representatives. And of course, they're the only ones that bid. We still have to go through the process for the end, for the commissioners to approve KLJ and the engineers. So someone would have to make a motion, seconded, and then approved by a voice vote.
I'll make a motion to hire KLJ.
Okay, motion on the floor by Ellison to hire KLJ to the engineering firm for the bridge, Decker Bridge.
I'll second it.
Okay, second by Averill, sorry. Any discussion, guys?
What if we didn't vote for him? Never mind.
Yeah, then you'd have to read.
With only one bidder.
Yeah,
Well, I guess the motion will get turned down.
No, I,
I know.
you have to re-advertise.
yeah, never, I just, I shouldn't ask.
Any discussion? One more time, any discussion? We'll do a voice vote on this. Zorn,
Aye.
Edlin,
Aye.
Gabriel,
Aye.
Ellison,
Aye.
and Charlie votes aye. Motion carried. So,
Excuse me.
that's all you need then, or,
So we need on.
okay,
I guess you could make a motion to approve the low bidder pending DOT approval. Then you
Okay.
wouldn't have to, but it's twice a month anyway, so it's not a big deal. They'll probably have the selection stuff. They have to go through their DB percentages, what they submitted. Looks like they were over the minimum, so I don't think they'll change the award, but they do have that opportunity at the state. They could award it to
Somebody else.
But
You want us to do it now or wait till the next meeting?
you can do either.
Why don't you
I
do it
guess.
now, because then I'll make a letter up that says
Okay.
that
I'll make that motion.
Okay, motion by Zoran to take a low bid for Robert P. Shoulder Construction for 1.968 million. Do I have a second on this?
I'll second it.
Second by Avriel. So any discussion again?
And they're,
Oh, go ahead.
we worked with them on other projects before as a company. I haven't worked with them personally, but sounds like they do a pretty good job.
So
So
where are they based out of, Paul?
Minnesota, I don't remember the town. I think it says on their bid sheet there.
They're based out of Minnesota. They've been last couple of years working just barely in North Dakota, they're kind of by the Red River.
Okay,
Slowly starting to expand a little bit further west. Into North Dakota.
I've never heard before, so.
Yeah.
Their main stomping ground is Minnesota.
Okay.
But there's not been as much work there recently, so they're starting to.
This way.
This way a little bit.
Okay.
Their crews with.
And there's only the other two bidders that do bridge work in North Dakota also bid and were a little bit higher. And so I think that's more, just as much why they've been creeping into this state too, is that the two that they're so tied to demand that the prices were going up, so they were able to get undercut them.
And that was, remember last year where they didn't put it out, right? Because nobody wanted to bid on it, is that correct? Last year, we had that. Last year, we didn't have, they delayed it, right? Because of the, didn't have enough bids or,
Precast shortage on like.
oh, that's what it was, something I didn't want to, yeah, so. Okay. Any discussion? Any more discussion? Very good. Any more discussion? Okay. Over voice vote. Zorn,
Aye.
Edlin,
Aye.
Avriel,
Aye.
Ellison,
Aye.
and Charlie votes aye. Motion carried. Thank you.
And then we have a representative here, Brandon Padilla from Butler. He's gonna update us on that reversible snowplow.
So yeah, back in December, we ordered the reversible plow from Falls Plow in Little Falls, Minnesota. Originally, they were 3 to 4 months out on when we ordered that. They changed up their lines a little bit and it didn't push it out a lot more, but it'll be probably the end of April, beginning of May before we've seen it. We were looking at a March to April timeframe. They pushed it out to April, May.
Okay.
So
Cost gonna be the same.
yeah, you guys are locked in. We signed the purchase agreement, so we're locked in on that cost. It's just, they did some rearranging on their lines at their end, moved some stuff around in the factory, so.
Okay with that?
Pretty open winter, so we're lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
March
That's-
can be.
Oh,
March.
I know,
I know.
Yeah.
Let's keep our fingers crossed that we have keep our winter miles. And I know, especially on equipment too.
But, yeah, I guess if you guys have anything for me, I'd be open for questions, but just want to come give an update and say hi to everybody for the new year again, so.
Yeah.
And it won't
And you brought
be,
donuts.
And brought donuts.
won't be in the too distant future where we're gonna have to ask for bids for our motor graders that are,
When is that, Wayne?
it's the end of August.
Okay.
When they're,
Cause we'll have to look it into it, I suppose, for
Yeah.
an extra
Research
budget and
results.
stuff like that.
I know on our side of it, we're about 6 to 7 months out on an order. But talking to inventory last week, we do have some build slots that are currently getting built. The only thing I don't know is if how much we'd have to change to get built to your bid spec. But there's a good possibility that we'd be able to do that, so.
So Wayne, what do you think we should have some bids in from these guys? What are you thinking? What timeline?
I say we do have them in by the time we do our budget for the year.
Or before?
because
I
the
would,
lease runs out this,
August.
August.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
so you gotta have them 6 months prior to.
Correct.
Okay, I see what you're saying now, yeah.
Which is probably the next meeting almost.
yeah, I would say we're on our end, we're gonna be cutting her pretty close.
So what are you thinking when maybe next meeting, have these guys come in and discuss it with us?
Yeah, we have to advertise.
That's what I
and
meant,
stuff,
yeah.
Long time
Yeah.
to do that.
If we,
To have some bids or specs
The sooner we agree that we're like, say, if we can get our bids together, that, you know, we decide on one. Can the guy lock in the prices now? Or does it?
Yeah, as soon as, so the price that we would bid to you would be your price.
Be your price,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
We aren't on the Caterpillar side, we aren't seeing any price increases forecast for 2025. But, and so we should be good on that.
Okay. You guys worried about the tariffs?
Oh, because we have enough stuff that's built in, that's made in America. We haven't heard that they're gonna affect us in any way. There will be some things that'll affect us that just won't be on motor graders or wheel loaders.
Okay. Okay.
Do they pay an order or delivery?
That would be paid on delivery.
Are you looking for like another, is it 7-year thing again, Wayne? Is that you were thinking about? Or,
I'd rather have it a little shorter.
okay,
Guess right now, if we had bad winters, we'd be over the hours. On 7 years, we're almost there now.
you think maybe a 5-year maybe?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
What are you running for hours in 7 years?
Well, it isn't 7 years quite yet, but I think Jim has got like 6,700 hours. Jake is 64. I think Jeff's about the same.
So would you have like a 6,500, 7,000 hour,
7,000 hours.
7 years, 7,000 hours?
So it'd be a 5-year, 5,000, that's what you kind of want, or?
I think that's what.
We've seen kind of a upward trend in the hours on the motor graders. We've been looking at 7 years, 7,500 hours. But right now through CAT and who we use for, we've been actually looking at contracts with balloon payments. So your hours aren't as crucial because the interest rates on leases just haven't been desirable. So.
So Nelson County had to pay interest from the time that they ordered the machines. Does that still happen? Is that what you guys are doing yet?
They shouldn't have, not from the time that they ordered their blades.
I think that's what they had to do. I think they had to pay the interest from the time that they were ordered until they got delivered.
I don't think so, because nothing starts, no finance documents are signed until after delivery.
Okay.
So there shouldn't have been. I guess I can check into that, but I guess I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know that would be, I haven't ran into it yet, I guess, so.
Does it make a difference whether it's lease or purchase?
Yeah, that I don't know either. Since I've been with Butler, it's been mostly pushing towards contract with balloon payment at the end. So it'd be set up, your payments would be set up the same way as a lease, where your buyout would be your balloon payment at the end of the contract. So I guess on the lease side, I can't speak to what that looks like.
I mean, just when you bring it to us, at least just kind of put that in
Yeah,
full details.
Yeah.
So we
I'll
know
include-
if we agree or whatever else, we know what we're agreeing to.
Yep,
Interest,
nope, I'll have-
financing,
Yep,
everything
I'll
else.
bring a
Or
full amortization schedule with, so you guys can see exactly what's
yeah,
included.
break
in
it down
that.
pretty clear.
Would that be it? And I don't know how you guys do it now, but do you guys do yearly payments or monthly? You do yearly? Okay, that'll just help me on the amortization schedule to know what to bring to you.
If they didn't have everything in order, could they extend their lease payment on the current ones?
That I don't know, because those are through John Deere. Those are through RDO, so I don't
okay.
know. That I can't speak for that.
Yeah, we pay, every year we pay so much, for the 3 blades.
I think we asked one time about extending it, but they weren't too energetic towards that.
Yeah, if you guys would like me to come back to the next meeting, I surely.
That
will
would
do
be
that.
nice. Yes.
Okay.
We need to get
Yep.
this going.
Yep,
Yeah.
nope, that sounds good. I will definitely be at the next one.
Especially if there's a wait time. I mean, we wanna
Yeah,
make
and
sure-
I'll have a little bit better. I'll sit talk with Wayne on. So that way I can look and see how our specs look versus what we have on order to see what a possible delivery date would be.
Okay,
Cause we gotta keep you guys going.
anything else, guys?
That's all from me unless you have any more questions, I guess.
Wayne, you got-
I had a request to take. I had that quote on a garage door. Insulated garage door we talked about before, and I was wondering if I could withdraw some money out of purple fund.
This is like, I think it's what, $1,190 more than the one we originally had talked. I think
Yeah,
it's-
this is
But there, it's.
10,650.
Was it 10,000? I thought it was 11. Okay, anyway, about $1,100 roughly, but it has gone up a little bit in price. And, but we have windows to it as well.
Correct.
And the windows is 90% of it. But we've got 60,000 sitting in ARPA.
I know, like, they're really itching to get a new one in there to help really contain.
Well, we're just gonna ruin the concrete and stuff if we don't, because the moisture freezes the door down and then you gotta use salt to get it. So, yeah, we need to finish the project.
It's that door at the county shop floor, you know.
Yes.
You know, so
Insulated door, so
it'll be, yeah, the one there is not. Yeah, it's got a.
that'll help with the heat.
Yeah.
This one's 3 inches
Yeah.
thick. Insulated door with
Windows.
24 by 12-inch windows, which helps with the light.
It's pretty dark. in that-
Darker in that
pretty
corner.
Dark in that, bay. So, you know.
So if that would be permissible.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
Okay, motion by Zorn to use ARPA funds to pay for the door for the county shop for amount of 10,650. I got here, yeah.
What did you have?
That's what I have. 10,650.
You guys allocated 80,000 to the road department.
That's right, yeah. So,
There's 20 of it spoken for the blade, so.
correct. That's
so
right.
60 left.
Yeah, that's right. So, okay, Zorn made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Avriel. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? I'll do a voice vote here. So, Zorn,
Hi.
Edlin,
Aye.
Avriel.
Hi.
Yeah, and try and be able to sign. Yeah, that's fine. Motion carried. Okay, thank you, guys. Anything else, Wayne? Yeah, I should have. I should know better.
Should know better. Also, I requested a price on a gravel trailer. This is from Robertson. It's a 2-axe trailer, gravel trailer.
Must be new, huh?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
So it says 46,250, then a $2,500 government discount. 43,750, then 4,000 freight,
So 47 total.
unless Rod can haul it up for 2,000.
that's
Why don't you explain how bad our trailers are down there?
Well, anything that's like sand or whatever, they run right through the doors. And a lot of times they don't close all the way. And so it's been welded up many times. Cylinders, you can't find parts for anymore for the air cylinders, the open gates. Very hard. So it's my request that we do
I think-
that. They had a used one, but this is a triax. They wanted 43,000.
I don't think we need a triax. We're trying to turn around on these gravel roads and approaches.
We had a try actually took the one, or the wheels off the one.
Yeah,
Were you looking at using ARPA funds for this also, or you
Yes.
have your own funds in? Okay.
Okay.
Which we should have enough in there.
yeah, because we'll do the 10 now, and then, so there's 60, so it'll be 50,000 is what you roughly have left over in this ARPA fund.
So he's got 80,000 in ARPA, right?
Yep,
And then 20,000 was for the thing, and then now there's 10,006, so that total with this is 78,400.
Yep.
When I added that just now.
yep. Yeah. The one trailer down there, I did go look at it, it's 57 years old.
That gives you $1,600 left.
Cutting it closer, Wayne.
Yeah.
Good shopping.
Oh, maybe a door for the shop, a walk-in door.
Walk-in door, something like that.
Yeah, that door.
If it hits 1,600, you're in.
Yeah,
Right.
I don't know if you guys ever use that door. Every time you go to close it, you gotta make sure it's closed. It does not close.
Which one, Wayne's door?
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
It's been slammed so many times. Salesman. Yeah. The one concern I have, and maybe that, like, the question I asked him is that maybe nothing will happen, well, and hopefully it won't, but is tariffs. You know, the last time we had tariffs, trailers went through the roof, you know, prices of aluminum and steel.
Yeah, that's
You
right.
couldn't even order them with the tires you wanted. You got whatever they put on. You know, and if they are, if tariffs, if there is tariffs, it'll be 10 to 25%, depending on where it lands. Maybe nothing.
Well, the thing of it is now, I think if we do it now, maybe we'll get our price locked in and I think we'll be good.
When would they have this? Did you ask any kind of questions on
He
that?
was gonna go get, 2 or 3 of them, like this week, I think. So I don't know if they're all spoken for or not.
That's pretty
The
quick.
price should be locked in pretty much.
The price of.
If he's able to get them right away, then yeah, we should be locked in.
Yep, this is the quote, so that's.
Yeah.
I'll make the motion on the trailer.
Okay, motion on the floor by Averill to go ahead and buy a belly dump trailer for the county shop for $47,750 delivered, correct?
Out of the ARPA funds.
Yeah, out of the ARPA funds, correct. With a second,
I'll second that.
second by Zorn. Okay, any discussion? Any discussion? One more time, any discussion? Okay, we'll do a voice vote, of course. Zorn,
Aye.
Edlin,
Aye.
Averill,
Aye.
Elkson,
Aye.
and Chairman votes aye. Motion carried. Thank you. Anything else, Wayne?
I'd rather keep my mouth shut.
Okay. Is there a pickup bid on here? What's this, pickup bid opening? Right,
yeah.
oh, there we go. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Pick up bids for.
Let's see,
the,
how many percent?
You received 2.
Okay.
For your old pickup?
Yep.
Got your guns.
Oh, yeah.
Yoo-hoo down there.
What did you guys decide?
We decided to sell them the last time there, right, as far as I remember.
I know you got swept off right away, but yeah, we decided to have, if you want advertising. Yeah.
I didn't like that.
Is it with him, Leah?
So,
Maybe go through Dakota.
Read the bid.
yep, I'm gonna read the bids here. We got,
Whoever wins, it, we can do the back.
okay, two bids here, guys.
Because there was
Pickup.
one or two. of
The
them.
2007 pickup for the county shop. We got 2 bids. One from Ray Egermont. Yeah, out of Valley City. He had a bid of, for the F-150 2007 for $200. And I have another one from Henry Zimprick for $225. So we got 2 bids. It looks like the winner is Henry Zimprick, correct?
Need a motion?
The motion that, okay, so
So move.
motion by Edlin to approve the bid from Henry Zimprick for the 2007 pickup for $225. Have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Zorn. Okay, discussion. Discussion. Any discussion? Okay, the voice vote. Zorn,
Aye.
Edlin,
Aye.
Averill.
Aye.
Ellison, aye, and Tremby votes aye. Motion carried. Okay, that's taken care of.
Turn my name around.
I'm sorry, I just one of those.
Never mind.
Anyway, correct, Sam.
I know who I am.
Seconded that.
I did.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was first. So, edit Wayne, anything else? You're done?
I'm done,
You're done? Okay.
except for the donuts.
Use donuts.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, guys.
Thank you.
See you
next time. Yep,
See you next
yep.
time, yeah. So anyway, next thing is tax director position.
Linda, can you hear me?
Okay.
Thank you guys, appreciate it.
Yep, thank you.
I'm just curious.
Linda, are you
Paul.
able to hear me? We're gonna ask her if she can hear us.
Yes, I am. I'm
Oh,
here.
there she is. Thank you so much.
Oh, I want it. Oh, it's so good. Here's a question for Linda, right?
Oh, yes. She there?
She's on. Yeah.
Okay, hey, say,
Thank you.
I just had a question, just wondering on, if there, with the tax season now and stuff, is there any chance we could get you to spend, if we could set up like a day, a week, or a day every 2 weeks or something, to where we could advertise for the people that you would be here? If anybody's got questions, I know that people can get a hold of you, reach out to you by email and everything, and, but I feel that it'd be good if for a while here, if we could have someone come in.
Good morning, everyone. I could see what I could do. I would love to, but at this time, I don't think so. How about if I would come on the days of your meeting? Maybe that would help. So I was there at the meeting and then I could spend the afternoon or the day there.
Yeah.
Yeah, anything would be great, as long as we can we put it on the Griggs County website that you'll be here and available. It would just be fantastic.
We just wanted, in case people have questions, they can come talk to you type of deal.
Or
We have a nice office for you.
or at least maybe I could make arrangements or something so that because I sometimes have other meetings on those days too. So I will see what my schedule is, and I'll look at your
Okay.
schedule for your guys' meetings and let you know. So we can
Yeah.
put that on there.
And if we can just have something that we can put, like I said, put onto the meeting, or onto the website, I just, for now anyway, that we can have people know that when you're gonna be here.
Okay. Sure.
Okay, and then the
Sure,
other
we can make
question
that work.
I had is, at this point, do you think we should advertise again?
I think we still are.
Are we still advertising?
Are you asking me? I'm sorry.
No, I was
Oh,
asking,
okay.
Sorry, it's me.
Just to give you guys a little bit of a heads up, we have a meeting coming up at our association this week. So if Sam wants to, if you guys want to post it, and then I could make sure and tell everyone so they could, at least they see that I'm just like temporary. And so if anybody's interested, maybe they'll get a hold of me.
We're advertising on the website,
okay,
not in the papers or anything like that, but on the website we are.
It's a thought. I just,
Any questions for her, Sam? I mean, Steph? Anything else? Any other question? Any
No,
other,
that was what my concern was, just if we could have her come in.
any other questions for the tax director, guys? For Linda?
As long as she comes and, kind of lays everything out, simplified, not just for us, but the taxpayers that got questions, that's all I care about.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. I'm good.
Okay, I'll
Okay.
see. I
Thanks,
have
Linda. Go
I
ahead.
have plans to come next meeting, so I should be on the agenda for next meeting. I think the end of this month.
Yep. What'd you say?
And I have a couple of meetings set up with some assessors in the townships and the cities, so I will be meeting with them too as well, so.
Linda, the townships are meeting with the Township Association in, I believe it's in March. If you would like to be on the
Oh.
agenda to kind of talk to all the townships, I can let the extension agent know that you would like to be on that agenda.
Absolutely, that would be awesome. Okay. I'll see you in a couple weeks. If you don't have
Thank
anything
Thank
else.
you.
Thanks, Linda.
Yep, thank you.
Bye.
Okay, state attorney, you're up, Jamie.
All right, I've got a couple things for you guys. First thing to talk about is zoning. I don't know if we want to do any zoning in the county, but North Dakota has some new developments coming in, and the players aren't exactly North Dakota nice all the time. We're looking at, I would guess, sometime down the road, solar panels, battery backups for transmission systems, and data centers. I don't know if it's something that we want to talk to the townships about, because it's on the duty, or that has been the duty of the townships in 2014. Griggs County stopped zoning. So I guess what we need to look at, protecting the interests of the people that are already here, landowners that are already here. There's been some zoning issues and some issues with noise, traffic and power consumption of some of the data mining centers. There's a lawsuit going on right now in Williams County. There's a new data center going in down by Ellendale that they've had the townships and the county have had some disagreements over, as well as the city of Ellendale. So it's something for you guys to consider, whether we just write the townships a letter and say, hey, this is something that you need to be aware of, and talk to other townships, or talk to the Township Officers Association, or if it's something that the county wants to start looking into developing, planning and zoning again. Of course, it would be simplest if the townships just continue it, but I don't know. It's up to you guys. See what you want to do. It would require us appointing a planning and zoning board and coming up with zoning regulations if we were to go ahead with zoning. We can't, townships nor the county can necessarily zone a business out of the county, but we can do the best that, we can make zoning regulations so they protect the people that are there. One of the biggest concerns with the data mining centers has been noise. And that's what the lawsuit is in Williams County over noise from the people that have homes around where the data center is at. So that's something for you guys to consider. Something else for you to consider is if we do have transmission lines in Griggs County, the battery backup systems that they're putting in there, there's big fire hazard. And it's extremely tough for the fire departments. So it might be something that we want to look at, or at least warn the townships about. Next thing is that Rod contacted me last week about the extension agent position. I think that we didn't quite follow the process that we should be following when we hire someone through the county that's an appointed official. Typically what happens is in the case of an extension agent would be that there would be an appointed person or two appointed people from the commission working with the extension to do an interview or go through the interview process with people, and then bring the candidate forward to the commission and recommend who should be hired, and the commission voting on it. So in order to be an official action of the county in something such as that, the whole commission should vote on it. So it's not gonna change what happened, and that's not what the recommendation is, changing what happened, just that we follow the process so that the whole county votes on it, the whole commission votes on something. And the last thing, I've been given a scholarship or applied for a scholarship with the Association of Counties to pay for 50% of the National Association of Counties, either the annual conference or the legislative conference. The legislative conference is something that I've been attending. I think this is the third year in a row that I would be going. As the vice president and president of the association paid my entire way to go to the conference. This year, I have a 50% scholarship up to $1,500. And I don't have any money in the travel budget for the state straight position. So I would ask that the commission allow me to go to the National Association of Counties meeting and pay 50%. So far, the flight, I guess I have a credit that I can use on my own. So my flight would be like $250 or $225. The hotel stay from the 1st to the 4th is going to be somewhere around $1,000, and the conference registration, I think, is $590. So I'm guessing it'll, between the county and the association, the expense would be $2,000, half paid by the Association of Counties. So I was looking for an okay from you guys to do that too.
So our cost would be about $1,000.
About $1,000. I'm trying to do it as cheap as I can. So what I've looked at for hotels, I would be flying in a day early. I'm a member of the National Association of Counties Rural and Ag Committee subcommittee that meets on Saturday. Most other participants are flying in on Saturday. My meeting starts at 9 o'clock Saturday morning. So I'm planning on flying in Friday. So my plan is to find a cheap hotel by the airport to stay on Friday night. Saturday night, everybody is staying at a hotel near the conference. But the only room that hotel has left for Friday night is $4,900. So I'll find $100 hotel to stay up by the airport on Friday night. So it looks, without my last night or my first night of hotel, it's like $1,780 or something is what the conference would cost for the registration, the flight, and the hotels.
I'll make the motion that we approve your travel. You want to turn in your receipts or?
Yeah, I'll turn in the receipts.
And then turn in the receipts for payment.
A second.
And where do we take it out of, Sam?
You guys have a travel budget
Okay.
within the general fund,
Okay.
that probably will take it over. But for budgeting purposes, we should do that so that it's, within that budget, and then
Okay.
just amend it by taking some out of the reserve.
Okay,
That's my recommendation.
so motion on the floor from Ellison to approve Jamie's request for $1,000 roughly.
Yeah, it's gonna be roughly
$1,000 for the Northwest Association of County. Where's that again?
It's in
He said
DC.
DC. okay.
It's a legislative conference. So typically the last day that we're there, we get to meet with our legislators. Bring up issues from counties or from our area. A couple years ago, I brought up the farm bill, the Hoven, and that didn't go over very well, but we also, I guess, I brought something home every time I've been to one of the conferences, something that's pretty valuable, like this rural and ag committee. One of the things that they're really paying attention to is the zoning and what's going on with solar power and data generation, because it's affecting everybody. And it's good and bad for our rural people, because it's replacing, they're offering $1,500, $2,000 a year rent for land, for leases for these solar facilities. So it's really hard for young farmers or any farmers to compete against them at that price. So I think it's important that we have someone there to see what's going on and to see how people are handling these kind of things.
Okay, second by Steph, right, Edlin? Okay, so, we'll do a
Okay.
roll call vote, of course. And first, any more discussion on it, guys? Any discussion? Any discussion? Okay, we'll do a voice vote. Zorn,
Aye.
Edlin,
Aye.
Averill,
Aye.
Ellison,
Aye.
and Tran votes aye. Motion carried.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Let's go back and talk about the, so what you're asking, you want us to do actual votes?
Yeah, I
See,
think,
well, okay, I guess when I was, my thing, when I was the impression that it's just like the heads of the departments, like Wayne over here, that they hire their own employees, like Sam does too. And it's up to them to hire or fire them.
so
That's
the,
what I always thought it was.
the extension agent works at the
For both
behest
of
of the
us.
commission and NDSU.
Okay,
So it's a partnership since we're paying part of the salary.
correct.
That they're hired by the commission, so it's different than if I were to hire an assistant or Sam were to hire an assistant, because that's actually a department head
Correct.
and they answer to the commission.
Okay.
Can you send me that information on that so I can forward off to Leslie?
Yeah, sure. I don't know if it's even.
Because in visiting with Leslie, she didn't have anything
Yeah.
stating
Okay.
that that was the case, so.
I mean, that was my thing, is that when we had Jeff here, I mean, we had to vote on everything we did with Jeff.
Yeah, we
And we don't like with the deputies or anything like that.
Yeah, so yeah, send over what you have so I
Yeah,
can send
that's
to
fine.
Leslie. Update
Okay.
her.
So basically you want a motion to.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to-
Formally approve for.
I make a motion.
Okay, so motion on the floor from Edlin to formally approve the hiring of
Elizabeth
Hasselmingo,
Hasselmingo.
Elizabeth Hasselmingo for a county agent position in Griggs County. Do you want a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Averill. Okay, any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Okay,
Hey,
well, go ahead, Ron.
just, I was sick and gone and whatnot. What is her background and stuff? I know that.
It was an all emailed to you.
Yeah.
Sam sent the email out to you guys.
She's got background in ag and stuff like that, so she went to school for this stuff and everything else.
I think she has an economics degree. from
Yeah.
NDSU, and she
Did
came from around.
did she go to that farmer soil thing that you guys, or what was it you went to? Did she go with or?
Oh, the weed thing?
Yeah,
No, that was just more. for
okay, because
that.
I know that's one thing that we kind of want her to pick up on a little bit, but so it'd be something like I would like to see her get involved in a little bit too. So she's got well aware, because Jeff was part of all that too.
Correct, yes, yeah. Now, she's got a pretty good background.
Where's she from?
She's from out west, Western North Dakota. She married
Jed
Jed
lives in
Hasselmingo,
Glenfield.
which is
Oh.
Dale's son. That's the
Okay,
connection.
I know what she is then.
Yeah, and then she worked for North Dakota Stockman Association for like 5 years, and she did the multimedia for them. And the North Dakota Stock Association has a really nice magazine you put out every month. It's really good. She's in charge of that and putting that together, so. She's got some pretty good background in that. She's more in the livestock end of it that she grew up with. As Jeff was more of the weed and science, so you're never gonna get both guys on this, so. Is, so anyway, but as far as I'm concerned, she's pretty well qualified. So, okay,
She's doing a very good job.
yeah.
Good.
So anyway, so we'll do a roll call vote then. Zorn,
Aye.
Edlin,
Aye.
Averill.
Aye.
Ellison,
Aye.
and Tryman votes aye. Motion carried.
The one thing nice about her is she's tied to the community. She's not gonna be someone that's looking for the next best thing.
Yeah.
She's gonna have a family here and live in Griggs County.
Mhm.
Are they living in Glenfield?
They actually live in the Dibwad farm.
Are you
So
right?
right on the county line, where the curves are at, I
Yep.
guess on 200, they're 2 miles north of there, but they're on the Griggs County side.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna take a motion for a 5-minute break. So do I do a motion or somebody want
I'll
to
second that.
second that? Oh, yeah, okay. Take a 5-minute recess here for the commission here. Sounds good.
I got my puppy.
You did?
I did.
Had to, didn't you?
Well, keeps me going.
Gotta have a dog.
Only
Man's
trouble
best
is I gotta
friend.
get up twice in the middle of the night to let it out.
Keeps you young.
I know. That's what I figured when she called up and asked if I needed a puppy. So
Yeah.
I figured that was meant to be.
What kind?
That's a Samoyed.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I couldn't live without my dogs.
Keeps me active. Although now I gotta start putting puzzles together so I can sit in the room with the dog. It kind of demanding.
Yeah. My mom's going on vacation starting tomorrow, so I get her dog for the week.
Oh, who's going?
My mom.
Oh,
Yeah,
where are they going?
Mexico. Yeah,
Well, I didn't see.
When it's the coldest week of the year.
yeah, they're getting out of here.
See?
Oh, for Pete's. And the other one, the juvenile, do them usually go?
Oh, yeah.
You have anything, Amber?
I do not.
Okay.
I got body aches.
Well, I'm just checking. Okay.
Terrible.
Oh my gosh.
It's
Golly.
just old age.
Oh, like, what is-
No. No, I was great yesterday, and then I woke up in the night. And it's like,
But it hangs on forever. My daughter's had it 3 weeks.
Don't tell me
A
that.
cold?
Yes,
Really?
cannot get over it.
I'm about 5 days to do it. All I wanna do is sleep.
Exactly. Grace, she is like hell bent, wide open, just lays at home and sleeps.
Raven had a fever for 5 days, and then Jay got one for 2 days, and Bray got one for 1 day. And I'm like, oh, don't want it. And then
There you go.
here it is.
you got it.
I went to bed at 10 o'clock on Saturday night and slept until 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon.
Did you watch the Super Bowl?
Wasn't much of a game.
What
Did you
team?
bet on it?
No.
Betting is illegal.
I won 50 bucks.
It is not. Oh, no, I did not, but I did, yeah. Eagles came to play, boy.
Yeah,
Holy.
Yeah.
that was fun.
The Chiefs play like the Vikings.
Yes, they did.
Like
100%.
I said, it's the Vikes.
Both the quarterback and the
Oh my God,
offensive line.
not good.
I did not watch the Super Bowl, the halftime, but I didn't hear good things about it.
No, it's terrible.
I took a shower during it.
If you like rap music, it's great.
Sam, did you
Was
like
that rap
it?
music?
No. No, I wasn't a fan. But like Jaden said, you can't have a rapper come out and be good vocals, and it's like
Doesn't work.
they
I
they
never
chose
heard of the
wrong
person, so
for-
I was like, this is a good time to take a shower.
Everybody back? Good to be back. We'll go back in session again. You started up again?
It's
What?
been going.
Oh, it's been going. Okay, so we're back in session again. Auditor, Rotunda.
He
Anything, Sandra?
didn't get back to me. He said
Okay.
he was gonna be here, and then I sent him the link, and I haven't heard from him.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
If you want to just,
There's nothing new. Is there any new to report on that?
so he thinks that the other 2 reports were gonna be approved before today, but I didn't get any notification on that yet, so I don't know that. But he was wanting to talk to you guys about adding the building authority into our, audits, so that then we're not having to fight with the state so much. But I wanted him to be here to kind of tell you
What to do?
why that's a
Why
good
it is.
idea, why that's
Yeah.
not a good idea, what that means.
Okay.
So let's put him on the agenda for the next meeting so that he can come and talk to you guys, and it's, because I'm not up to date on all of what the difference is on that, so.
Okay, that sounds good to me. So, put them on next meeting then. Okay, and I went to the 2025 Commissioner Reed Forum in Bismarck last Tuesday. I like road trips. I'm just kidding. By century code, we're required to, somebody from the weed board's required to go from the county, you know, or now the commission members are members, right, of the weed board?
Correct. Yep.
So I went, bottom line is just basically a overview of stuff that I've dealt with before in different things, you know, like, weed controls, no trees, state noxious weeds, that kind of thing, you know, something to be for the county, isn't it? So, and by showing up, of course, and we sign the sheet if you get in the door. So that means that somebody was there, that we were doing our due diligence, that somebody showed up. That's kind of why I went, so on that one. But other than that, because it's once a year, they have the letter comes out to us usually a month before. So other than that, we got that one covered for right now. So let's see. Oh, Bob Hook want to talk to us about grant writing on that one. I wonder if I can see if I get Bob on the phone, because you know we have Ben over there in Steele County does it for them. You know, he has some ideas to maybe look at that possibility for us. I'm just gonna get a hold of Bob on the phone here on that one. Give me a second here, guys. Hang on.
Just call me.
Maybe not.
Hello.
Bob, Scott. Yeah, we're at the commission meeting right now. You want to, you're on speakerphone so everybody can hear you. So,
All right.
Can you kind of explain what you're thinking of doing there, Bob, to us?
Well, there was some talk of a need for grant writing, and I've done that. So I would be interested in doing the grant writing for the county. Because there, there's always stuff out there. I mean, we can see it. Some of the neighbors there have done very well with grants, and no one there has been doing it. I would do on, like I said, like I sent in my message to you, I do your retainer for $1,500, and for that, I would give you a month report on what I've done, what I've researched, and then any grants that you're interested in, or we find out that we're eligible for or want to proceed with, then I would do that on an hourly basis, agreed upon by both parties before any work stuff. It's pretty unethical to do that by percentage. You know, that's not the way it's done.
Okay.
And what I'm asking, if you guys want to go through with this, I am far below the average, like extremely far below the average. Thought we'd try this, see if it worked. Cause I'm gonna try and do some stuff for Hannaford too. They got some drastic needs there, so.
Okay.
But that work I did for Hannaford wouldn't impact what I was doing with County. You know, what's one of the first things we'd have to do is meet with the department head and see what needs are there and what they're looking for and what the county needs. It's like everything else, if you don't ask, you won't get it.
Okay. What are you guys thinking?
Well, there's a need for it, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of it. You know, if I went and wrote the grant, you wouldn't be sitting in that building you're in. You'd be upstairs in that old building.
Where would
Like
we,
it or not, that's reality.
Yeah. What's that, Steph?
where would we pull the funds from for this grant writing position?
Do we have anything you see that we can use till,
You can't use emergency for this.
oh, you
No.
can't, okay. I mean, could we use the ARPA funds? I mean, I don't know, since we didn't allocate
We
it.
do have reserve, but I hate to.
Yeah,
Maybe you should go department by department and see who needs it, because if they write their own, is it worth it?
Oh, true.
Is that based on a percentage of the grant awarded or?
I don't quite understand your question.
Go ahead.
What-
Go take
based
it
on
more.
that?
Well, I mean, for grant writing, is that by the hour or is it by the percent, you get a percentage of the amount awarded, or how does that
Yeah,
work?
again, so ethically, there's No grant writing done anymore on percentage basis. That was kind of deemed unethical. It's by the hour, and that would be agreed upon by the commission and by myself if we went down that road. You know, we would identify the grants. I'd do some initial research on it, give you my estimation on it. It'd be by the hour.
So first of all, before you can hire someone to do something, you have to advertise for it.
Okay.
Do you have any kind of a dollar amount in mind?
What?
A dollar amount per hour where we just get kind of a rough idea where you're gonna be?
You know, I was looking and talking to some other grant writers. You know, it depends. You know, a lot of these grant writers are full-time for corporations and full-time for businesses. I'm not looking for that. I'm guessing in the $20 range.
Okay.
You know, the scope of work on grant writing, the research is probably the biggest part of it. The writing part of it is pretty small. So we're not looking at a lot of money.
You think you get back at the next commission meeting, you get back with more concrete numbers and stuff, Bob?
Yeah, if I sure can, if that's what you want.
Well, if you guys are gonna hire someone, if
We
you're
have
gonna
to
create a
advertise.
position, you have to
I
advertise
mean,
it.
talk about advertising, but so, you know. we'll put it on.
So, yeah, I mean, I think that you have to have it advertised because if you're gonna give someone a $1,500 retainer to do something, I mean, you can't just hire someone
No, that's what I'm saying.
off
but,
a
you
phone
know,
call.
yeah.
Well, yeah, that's what you want. I'll throw something together, try and get it out to you.
Yeah, and then that way you could maybe make it, like I said, we could advertise and then we can make it try and make it like an application for the job type of deal. And then we can,
Right.
if we get any more, we can just go from there.
Mhm.
If that sounds correct.
We have to put it in the paper then for a couple weeks then?
So what you'd like to do?
I guess first thing you better come up with is what actually you're gonna advertise.
Correct, exactly, yeah,
You're gonna need a scope of work,
yeah.
and you're gonna need, you know, what you want, so what you're looking for. That's, if you're gonna advertise, you have to advertise something legitimate. I could probably say some stuff for that.
Okay.
Yeah, who knows, you might have somebody else that's really interested in this too, because there's people out there that do grant writing. Because you know, a lot of places are in the same boat that we were in Grace County, you know. Up until recently, grants were looked down upon, and now they're something that can really help out the taxpayer and the county as a whole. You know, some of the grants are competitive, some are non-competitive. The non-competitive ones don't take nearly the research. I think one thing now that needs to come into play for the county, which comes into anytime we're looking for funding or grants at the county level, long as I've been there, we've never had the data to back anything up, or we've never identified a strategic plan or need that we have. So there are other things too that we should probably be looked at in the future. So yeah, I'll put some stuff together and get it to, I guess I'll send it to Sam, and then she can get you guys how you want it.
What do you think, guys?
I think so.
Yeah.
Then advertise
Yeah, just
at
get
the same
in.
time,
Yeah.
you know. We need to figure out what to put in the application.
Yeah.
I
The
think,
actual position and.
should
I'm
we
pretty
maybe,
sure I can find a general, you know, a scope of work type thing that you guys can look at and tweak that how you want to.
So also just to let you guys know, I think this has been shared too. The Association of Counties has 2 engineering firms that are contracted to do research and grant writing. So they're at our disposal to contact us or to contact them and use them as well.
Okay.
maybe we should wait till next meeting would be
Well, that's what I'm thinking, you know,
before we
We'll do
advertise.
some research. and-
research first maybe, guys.
Yep.
Okay,
And
I
how
suggest
would
that,
we
you know,
even
it's-
pay
that's what
for
you're
it when we
after.
get budget?
But someone needs to do something, because there's been a lot of money left on the table last 10 years, tremendous amount.
correct.
Something to look into for budgeting purposes for
Yeah.
next year. Unless you want to take it out of the reserve.
No.
Mhm.
Well, I think right now we'll probably table it for right now, Bob, and then
We'll get something figured out, then we can go from there.
All right,
That'll
I'll
work.
talk to you later.
Okay, thanks, Bob. But,
Yeah, bye.
okay. So what do you think, guys? We just. keep working
Well,
on-
there's a
working
need,
on-
I
working
think
on
there's a need
I
for
think
it,
so
but,
too.
but
Well, the county, Association of County have grant writers too to look into this stuff for us.
Yeah.
Maybe
Right
we should
now, they're
con-
primarily working on road grants right now.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, this is a program, it's in its infancy, it's a second year. But ultimately, that's what the goal is to actually have a full-time grant writer working for the Association of Counties to be able to do the same thing.
And they would pay us, they charge.
Charge us, and then they charge, most grant writers charge a percentage of the award.
Yeah.
Bob's different than most people.
Yeah.
Because most of them, private grant writers, public grant writers, most of them are a percentage of the grant.
Yeah.
Did he write grants while he was here?
He wrote the grant for this building.
Did he also, when he was sheriff, didn't he like the radios and all that too? Wasn't he kind
Was that
of
you
working on
working
that,
on
or was that you?
We did the $1,500, but
Okay.
there are some, I mean, there are grants available. But, and especially for DES, but we need to know what you guys are looking for, and we can look for, I mean, that's ultimately our duty too, is to look for those grants.
We gotta know what they are, but so we know what to, are.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Well, I mean, we,
in essence,
Bob's not wrong that we should have a strategic plan, because, I mean, we need to know what we're looking for grants for as well. We just can't type in a Google search grants for counties.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of grants that are out there.
There's a lot of language in there, you know, that's the normal guy
Well,
doesn't.
Like I say, I mean, it all depends on what
once they
each.
write a grant, to kind of.
Are there grants available for like the sheriff department to build a building to store equipment, or not equipment, but
Not right now, there's nothing open.
Grand Forks County is kind of going through that same thing right now. They're just building like a $25 million building.
we were looking into a salt shed that we could store Andrews vehicles in the,
For protection, so.
but it was $60,000 for a little half the size of this room. Couldn't get any salt in there, plus the vehicle. The city built that other one for like
22,000.
22,000. That's not overly large neither, like we could store any confiscated vehicles. Partition it or whatever.
So we'll just keep working on this then, guys.
Yeah.
Right now, we'll keep, okay.
See if something comes up.
Yeah, we'll keep. So the next thing is the court facility improvement grant. I'll read a little bit of this, came 22nd January. This came from the people. I am pleased to inform you that the committee approved a partial grant to the county in the amount of $40,000, which reflects the 25% contribution by the county. This grant award is for the project presented in the county's application and briefly described to install security cameras in areas in courthouse and installation of doors, access control systems on doors used for court purposes. So, in other words, good news.
That's very good news. Great job.
Anything else on this one, guys? Just so we know about it.
Well, the access, that just goes to the courthouse.
So
Explain
this
it.
is that project that we were talking
Yeah,
about with.
I
ARPA
mean,
funds.
which doors do they lock?
So I would, this one would just be for court purposes, so
Not
like,
this room.
this room I think would, just because this is a jury room.
Oh, yeah, well,
But there's different
yeah, I got
doors and stuff
I
like
got
that, and
not your rooms.
no,
No, that's all.
yeah, so then we were looking into the ARPA funds for
Yeah.
the remainder of it. But this is really good
But you
that,
could pretty much use all incoming doors, right?
I think so.
Or
Yep.
incoming
Mhm,
sheriff's office.
mhm.
Which doors?
Like the incoming doors?
The front door? You're gonna lock it?
Like in a time lock.
Well, you mean at night?
Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah,
just
yeah,
curious.
yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It'd be
okay.
like a time lag. It open up like 7:30, whatever, and
Yeah.
it.
Well, that's fine. That's fine.
And then if they were propped open or something like that, it would send them an alarm on
Yeah,
that.
that's fine.
Kind of like the school has.
You got money for it?
We were talking about the ARPA funds.
Yeah, we put away ARPA funds, or we designated some of the money in the ARPA funds.
Okay, anything else in this subject, guys?
Was that Kevin?
We good?
So how do we move on from
Sure.
here then? Make our decision from here? Do we just, should we get with Travis and?
Sorry, I didn't know the grant was on.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And Mr. Rotunda's here.
Mr. Harold's here.
Yay!
Woo-hoo!
Well, he's here right on time, actually, according to our.
Okay.
Did you want to vote on this?
Why don't you, we're talking about now, Kelly, why don't you explain a little bit again? I read this letter, so.
Yeah, so the grant, so when I put when I applied for it, I put a blueprint of the courthouse and I selected the doors that we were requesting the funds for. So I'll have to look to see if they approved what I had requested. So we can only use the grant for those specific doors that I requested for, so.
Okay.
I don't know, was there anything else with that, Sam, or was it just that letter?
Just the letter and then this back.
Yeah, did they say partial? Was it a partial?
Yes, that's
A
partial
partial
grant.
grant.
Yeah.
So I'll have to look to see what they actually approved, because I did add extra doors, like I put the front doors. And some of it, I wasn't sure if that they would approve or not, so. I'll have to reach out to court admin and see what they actually asked on there, because I think the total, I'll have to look at my paperwork, so, just to see what part they removed, so.
Good job, thank you.
Yeah, yeah, I didn't know if you had any other questions on that. I'll find that information out and then be ready for the next one then. If you, I don't know if you want to talk about the next one too, I can
Probably see what happens here, but
find that
yeah,
out.
looks good.
Okay,
Thanks, Kelly,
All right,
for your work
yep.
on it.
You don't need a motion this time?
No, it's already grants on that one, so.
We're just waiting on more
More
information.
information.
Yeah, that's okay.
Anyway, so Harold, hi.
Oh,
We're just discussing you earlier, but now you're just in time to discuss it for us.
okay. Oh, the world of audit and audit reports.
You can by spot.
Sure, I don't mind standing, because I'm usually going to stay. I can do that. In this process right now, unfortunately, the profession is splitting between what we want as a profession and what you want as a user. So they want to add all this fancy stuff to the reports. To say it makes it more robust and more accurate. What that does is you look at that report and say, is that us? I don't see those numbers from Samantha on a monthly basis. And you have a couple of different unique items because of the building. So you have that sub issue in that perspective. But first I should say, just so you're aware, they did just approve the 20 and 21 reports.
Okay.
So you'll be getting a letter in either this week or next week. So you're now through 21 under the old system of putting a bad note saying you didn't include the building authority in those audit reports. Okay, so 22, 23, and 24. Now you have to decide if you want to comply totally with them and then have numbers that don't comply with your stuff, or have your stuff and have the nasty letter in front saying, we're doing it our way, not your way. That's really where it comes down to. And from the perspective, then you have to decide with an audit report, if you are using it yourself, or if you're doing it as just a standard process that you want to do it. And then you accept whatever they have to have in there to make sure they're happy. But that's what it comes down to. So you will see, I mean, they will want property taxes receivable, for example, not collected on the report as revenue, even though you haven't collected it yet, and you don't show it as revenue. But they're gonna say, show that. So you're gonna say, well, that increases my general fund balance that Samantha gave me. And now it doesn't agree, and it doesn't. And the worst one they're gonna do is they decided, the profession, to add pension liability that you don't owe. But they decided to say the state of North Dakota is upside down. Your percent of it is this percent. And you're gonna have this liability.
And you're gonna say, but I'm not in the hole. You go, well, unfortunately, you're gonna show a deficit on paper for that. And he said, my choice would be that if I don't want to show that, I'm going, then we gotta write the nasty note in front saying we didn't comply with current standards. So that's really where you're at right now, and I'm at the point where I'm not sure which way to even, if you said, what do you think? If you're not gonna use the audit report for yourself, then you might as well make them happy. And just do everything they want to make them happy and just be done with it. If you say, I want the audit report to equal the report I approved in December, then you need to get the nasty note and not include it. That's where you're at. And the profession is there told.
I'm all about following the
Yep,
accountant. You know, their accountant and their rules and
Explain to me,
by their standards.
the building authority hang up. What was the, on that? Explain that to us quickly,
Okay.
please.
The building authority was set up by the state as a way for government entities to build things without having to pass a special bond issue for it. And the theory was you would pay rent and they could pay for it. So that was a way they thought they could use those things, so you would never have to have a bond issue. Because again, they were voted down here, so by rights, shouldn't have been, but that's the way they approached it. So the only purpose of the building authority, when it was set up, was to build this. That's it. Now, in theory, they could have actually built multiple buildings. But it wasn't their intention, and that was why, you know, so the part was, that part doesn't apply to us, we don't want to include those things in. The whole building authority and every place else, the whole purpose of it is, and it'll say it's part of us, so always part of us, it's never separate, never, it's owned. And I had several discussions with different people, because it's interesting, I actually had this happen in Barnes County with City County Health. Because one of the board members said, can we get a divorce? Using the same thing, you basically wanted a divorce from the building authority, they wanted a divorce. And everywhere I checked was, there is nothing you could have legally or ever done to divorce them. The whole purpose of the profession is to move in stuff, not move out stuff. And they have no mechanisms to ever move stuff out. If you look at when you refinanced, technically you could have easily brought that in at that time. So instead of having the building authority refinance, the county could have then taken it all over and just, then they could have abandoned the building authority.
Okay.
But the building authority, because its whole purpose, and you look at every box it checks. There's, because I checked many places, and I was looking to try to get that done, and they said, well, we don't have a way of doing it. And why would you want to do it? That doesn't make sense.
And the other issue was, this building is something with the access for the, on the county roads, is that right?
Yep, so
It's
you have
leased, right? How does that work again? You explain that?
So what we know, if we go back to the whole way they have it, we would show the courthouse as a fixed asset, and we show that note as a liability for the county.
Okay.
And then we have that, and see, technically, you've kind of quasi admitted it. By default, when you pay the Bank of North Dakota, in theory, if it was a separate entity, you'd write the check out to the Griggs County Building Authority, and the Griggs County Building Authority then write a check out to the Bank of North Dakota. So by rights, you've also kind of admitted by having money come out of your accounts and paying the Bank of North Dakota directly, that basically you're saying, well, that's really our liability, not theirs. And that's why when you, the semantical side, when you set that up, and there's a whole bunch of, you can look at sub issues and the whole, they have changed so many rules now, debt wise, it's amazing. I've seen places now, they'll sell a bond with its own levy without a vote. And I'm like, this is crazy. They got these certain rules, you have this 30-day meeting, you have a hearing, and they do that. And it's, I also like, technically, if you go back to Barnes County is using the capital levy to pay for their jail. They never voted in jail, and all of a sudden, they call that bond. I mean, it's just kind of bizarre. The names are coming up with what types of bonds, because you say general obligation bond, all of a sudden it triggers stuff. But if I go to participation series bond, you know, what the heck's that? Then all of a sudden you don't need to vote. And you're going, doesn't this defeat the intent? And that's why I come back to whole kind of things where everything I look at with this is. So if you said, I want to be totally in compliance, building authority comes in, and maybe that important time you might want to contact the guy and say, hey, you know what, we just pay this stupid thing off and close the building. Or find some way legally to whatever. So you can get rid of it, so you can just say, we'll just put the building on and the bonds on and be done. But I mean, technically either that or it's gonna be a fund of the county to avoid getting a nasty letter. And it's gonna be showing that pension liability as a liability, even though you don't owe it. To avoid the nasty letter.
Who's this building authority? Who is this building authority?
Technically, it's you. And because most times the building authority, the county commission, is the building authority board.
Without even them knowing it?
Well, they're normally known. It's like one of those papers you sign when things all get set up. So
you're
first commission.
So you're not on the building authority. It's still a group of the commissioners from the recall, Troy and John, Dale.
Yeah.
So yeah, this current commission isn't on the building authority.
That's right.
Yeah.
Did they sell tax exempt bonds?
Yeah, I mean, really, they could, if they want to be active, they could start doing stuff. I mean, so like if you wanted a new county shop, they could sell bonds for a county shop.
Would they have to, I mean, would those be tax exempt bonds or would they be
tax exempt?
With a private authority?
Semi-private authority, that's how they created it. They put in that kind of a in-between world where it's the county, but it's not legally, it's a non-profit organization that is attached to the county. But they didn't want it to the county because then you could not levy.
And in my research, we can't levy to pay it off because the only way if this worked was to set up the building authority, and that's, we're paying a lease to the building authority, and that's the only way we can tax to come up with.
Well, we have the building, I understand that, but
well, see, that's when they pay it. If you have a general obligation bond, you'd have to, as I said, now they create these hybrid bonds. So I mean, you could literally set that up if you wanted. So there's two different issues with this. Is first of all, can you avoid having the building authority on there? And every place I've checked, the answer is no.
Unless you buy it, pay for it.
Well, either way. So then you start saying, well, then why do we have the building authority? Can we get rid of the building authority? And that's when that whole bond payment comes in. And that's what I kind of mentioned Barnes County, because they never had a vote in the jail and they sold a $14 million bond. But they're using the 10 mil capital levy to pay that off. But it's not a debt levy that was voted on and approved by the people. You can have certificates of indebtedness, and those have zero binding authority on any revenue stream. You could tie it, but you don't have.
well, my question then, if this, well, building authority just goes out and starts selling bonds, are we obligated?
I think
as a county, are we obligated then to cover their bonds?
I don't think, unless you had an agreement. Right, Jamie, don't you say that you'd have to basically have the contract with them on that bond that you'd agree to pay it? Like if you don't agree to pay it, you're not obligated.
Right, we have a lease. I mean, we have a lease with the building authority.
So you'd have to sign.
For
at
what?
least-
For this
For this
building?
building.
But what if they sold other bonds? Would we be obligated?
I would say no, because we're not.
No, because we just have the lease for this building.
So the county wouldn't be obligated for future things they did? I mean, that's all I'm asking.
Right, and then what happens, they'd come to you and say, I can't sell this bond without you standing behind it. That's where it come down to. Then you'd be at a standoff between, we need you to sign, we're not gonna sign, well, then we can't do it. You're going.
Well, that's all I'm asking.
Yep.
So actually, in this case, Bank of North Dakota is a trustee for this bond, and we have a lease in place. We have to actually ask the Bank of North Dakota if we can amend our lease. So the bonds are specifically attached to that lease.
For this building.
For this building.
I mean, I realize the building's here and we can't hardly say we're not gonna pay for it, I suppose now.
Well, technically, you never really said you were never gonna pay for it. It's a year by year deal where unless something would have changed legally where you gave yourself that option, but every year you've always honored the annual payments.
What if you didn't?
But they'd probably file a lawsuit against you for payment. The bank would. I'm sure they would
Yeah,
say
Bank of
you're-
North Dakota would
Yeah,
say that we're in default. And the problem with that is the old courthouse, this whole block is collateral, so even the old courthouse and the block is collateral for the building authority, which is a pseudo public entity. But this whole block is collateral, so if we don't pay it, we lose everything.
I mean, they'd throw us out.
I don't know what they would, I mean, I'm not sure what they would do, but
They probably start charging you rent as a new tenant or owner. So the county have to rent this building because you gave it up.
Or we'd have to find a different building instead.
Or find a different.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
To sum it up, I would follow the auditor's guidelines for changes that they have and as to what we present on the audited financials.
Now, do you want to have some kind of crossover thing that says, here's what Samantha gave you, so when you go, how do we get from here to here?
I don't really like that, what I give is not what they're gonna see. Isn't that,
Well, again, that's like I said, the profession decided that they wanted to feel what they thought was right. And again, that's the way almost everybody's been going. So from that perspective, they're like, well, you should just do it. And I'll give you an example too of another thing where technically if you have a negative cash balance, it's interesting. And actually, I got two really goofy answers on that, but one was in theory, you borrow it a year in. So if all of a sudden you have a fund that's upside down because the grant comes in after a year. So I said, no. They're saying is you have to set up a receivable, even though there's no receivable, and then next year disappears. When I checked with the other group, they said, well, you just got to bounce those checks because they bounced. So you got to reduce that, take that expense up because you really didn't pay it because you didn't have money to pay it. And this is stuff where when you look at it, you're going, but I did pay it. And the county covered it. And they're saying, well, you can't cover it, you've got to cover it. And then you start seeing stuff, that's what I'm saying. So on the balance sheets, all of a sudden you say, there's stuff here that's we haven't seen all year. And we see once a year.
what do all the subs like? You're an accountant for a bunch of subs.
Yeah.
What the rest of them?
Right now, it's getting to the point where they're just saying, well, it's an audit, the audit report's the audit report. We're doing it for compliance, so send it in. And when we talk about it, like if I talk to you about the audit reports now, it'd be, okay, I'll highlight a couple things and then we're gonna talk about Samantha's numbers. And that'd be the page I would have to show each fund, all the activity on the cash basis that you guys have, and say, okay, the stuff before that, get you all cleaned up, but this stuff afterwards will get you where you're at. But I'm saying that's really where, there's times, and again, unless they've obviously had, won't get too much into it, so they've had changes in the state auditor's review process. So it has changed substantially. So in the same top process, it's kind of coming like the IRS. Call up the IRS, get an answer. Call up the IRS, call another guy, get another answer. And so they need to work out that kind of a bug first to get that to work. But still in the same point, you're going, there is way over here, safe harbor. And that is, you do it exactly the way they want it, they will have no problem. If you try to modify it, half the time it goes through, half the time it does. And that's why in this process, if this modified version still didn't get what you wanted, you're going, well, the heck with it. All I want to get is a letter that says our audit meets the state standards and the accounting standards. If you want to do that, then technically that audit report is going to have less value for you. But as I've watched more and more subs and all these people, they're going, you know, this stuff is getting more and more confusing and I don't get it anyway, so tell me where we're at.
But when you review it with us, you'll review us with the Sam's. I like that.
Yeah.
Yes, I like that.
Okay, yeah, so because I'm just thinking, more and more I look at it, I'm like a salmon. I'm tired of being a salmon.
Upstream.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna say, you know what, you guys want it, we'll do it. So that's a part where if you wanna get that part done, so in 22 would be one more year of explaining the goofy part, going from the not nasty letter to the now we're in compliance letter. So there'll be a paragraph that says you restated the last year's balances to get that deed. Then we'll be.
So you're gonna show income on real estate taxes without it even being collected, right?
That's what they want.
They want, it's like an accrual accounting.
Yeah.
Instead of a cash accounting,
Yeah.
it's the accrual side. This is what we should be receiving, though we haven't quite received it yet.
So then what, are we stuck paying into the state then, or what, how's that?
No, see, again, what happens is eventually the receivable just keeps getting adjusted. So every parcel you sell in November, that receivable is written off. So the receivable will be a write-off, but there'll be new receivables coming in for the new year, so.
Yeah.
But so when you look at it, is you're saying, tell me what we collected. I'll go, no, this is telling you what you had coming, less what was written off.
So you're always gonna be in the hole on your cash account.
No.
Well, yeah, because you don't have the cash.
Yeah, so I mean, what it's gonna show you got, you don't have in your hand.
That's what I'm saying.
That's exactly right.
Oh, okay.
You're gonna be negative cash pretty much all year until, especially if somebody.
Well, you're gonna
Doesn't-
be negative cash for 3 years, actually, until the last of the tax funds are collected.
So what does that do to the county then if we show that?
See, again, this is the part where when you look at it from your perspective, it won't be negative cash, it'll just be what they say you are worth and what you have in the bank is gonna be different.
Yeah, that's what.
So by that rate, you're always gonna have cash. It's not like you're gonna go upside down and have millions of dollars in the hole. You still have the Samantha report. The difference is the audit report will show equity, fund balance, net position of this amount. And you're going, what's that include? It includes the cash and these receivables. But we're gonna knock off this pension liability. So that's what I'm saying. So when you start looking at it, you're going, well, I just wanna see this cash line. And that'll still be there, but there'll also be a bunch of stuff underneath it coming to a different number. And you could just say, well, as far as I'm concerned, once you get below the first line that says cash, it's all a bunch of gibberish. Because I don't trust it. You can say that, but saying, problem is, if we tell it, they all say people that they're like, ooh, it's not gibberish.
What's the reason for them? I mean, it's harder for a layperson to read.
I know it is. I mean, they're making it virtually impossible.
So what's the reason for them going from the cash method to the accrual?
You know, I'm thinking I think part of it, the accounting profession has always had lawyer envy. They always have. And they just see how you guys are able to run the gamut. Well, gotta check with Jamie before we do anything. And we want to do the same thing. We want to say, you want to know where you're at? You check with me. And that's what it seems like they're trying to establish, because they're looking at saying this is legitimate. You're going, but if I don't have it and I'm not using it, should I show it? And they're like, well, it'd be better if you did. You're going, okay, but. And so that's why when the profession itself, they've done that. And by doing that, you go, I can make a case for it. The liability one I could never do with the pension. I mean, the tax receivable, and if you show the building authority, that makes sense, because basically the whole building authority was you guys anyway, so. But then you start saying is, well, I'm not gonna go halfway. We're gonna go with the state standards and the accounting standards, and we're gonna go over here and just be done. But I think it's just basically because then it is where I don't know hardly any lay people that if you ask them a question would be able to tell you what that financial statement tells.
So it just kind of ridiculous, because if you own a business, you lease a piece of equipment, you can only write off that lease payment. You can't write off
the
whole balance of what that piece of equipment is. But then on this accounting side with the accrual method, that's an asset to you. So it's dumb.
Do you have issues
an
with
ask that you
trying
show
to
appreciation.
explain this to like citizens, like, you know, that there's a
Not swiping
discrepancy
right off.
between our audits and then what my fund shows, like,
basically have to
have you ran into that where it's
See, I've
like,
never really had a citizen yet where they come back through and
What
say
it's
these
worth.
things are different.
okay,
Sounds like a-
Cause
There's
that's
always
more
that
headache
risk
than
where
what
they
it's
can come
worth.
back and say, well, why is this
Didn't follow the rules.
equity here, this equity here? Sam hiding something, not doing something, doing
Yeah.
that.
Well,
Yeah,
that's the
they
thing, I
have,
just-
they've yet
it's
to
like,
do that,
okay,
because they're
let's do
like,
that, but
hey,
at the same time, I don't wanna turn around.
because then you
Reflect
have to
us in
open
the
that
future,
door.
like,
And
okay,
nobody wants
first
to
you're
open
in
that door
compliance,
to
now
say,
you- or now you're in
I'm trying to
compliance, and
defend
all these
myself
negatives, what the hell
on
are
a
you guys doing
practical
right now?
basis.
right.
That's what I'm worried about.
Cause that's what I was
It's
kind of worried
auditing
about is
its
like, you know,
audit.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to be transparent to the citizens, but if my audit's not driving with what my books say, like, how do I explain that?
So what do you need from us, I guess? Just direction, is that?
Just which way you wanna go. I mean, if you wanna get rid of the naughty letters and just say whatever the state says, and like when Stephanie talks about it, she says, let's just get in compliance and be done with it, then you get in compliance and be done with it.
Is any other counties fighting it?
No. You guys are unique.
I make a motion to follow compliance with the audits.
What is it? What is the outcome of our building authority if we follow in compliance? And-
Technically, as far as any kind of status, nothing changes. It's just, if you look at your audit report right now, there's a paragraph that describes it in the footnotes.
Mhm.
So the paragraph would now, instead of just being, that's only a reference in the whole audit report. Once you go that way, then every financial statement is gonna be there. It's gonna be part of it.
But then it's listed as an asset. And that's a problem that I have.
That's the issue we had before.
Because,
Exactly.
because if we have it listed as an asset, I don't know if that's legal.
Right. I mean, I couldn't.
According to the
I-
auditors, it's legal.
Yeah, but they're not forensic auditors that are looking at the compliance with the section.
They're just looking at
Century
numbers,
Code.
that's all they look at.
So we can't own the building, and that's been what the fight has been
Been
over the
about.
last 15 years or
Yeah.
10 years, is that we can't own this building. So if we listed it as an
Then
asset,
it comes back on our books, right?
then yeah, so I don't know how that screws up things for the section of code. I mean, it's not something that we've ever had.
Is there any way that contract we have with the building authority, is there any way we could change that contract?
I think you'd have to buy it out.
Buy
So
it
you
out.
can be bio, that's the place you have to contact somebody issuing new.
Because that way, if we do list it as an asset, it
That
doesn't.
is, that is the only divorce in that.
That's the only
book is-
divorce, that is
Huge
truly the only divorce.
Question, I know the auditor sent us last year or a couple years ago, the GAPS code, the general accounting code stating why
Yep.
the building authority should be on there. I mean, it's one of their,
It wasn't theirs, actually, it's accounting professions. So I
it's,
mean, they just-
it's a code, it's their
Yeah.
ruling as to why
The
they.
problem is that that doesn't take into account the section of century code that we're talking about, where the building is the building authorities.
But it
So that's-
must, wouldn't you think? Because all the other counties that have building authorities are putting it on there. How are they not get?
And again, remember, I always heard the term component unit. Component units are entities that are not part of the county in any way, shape, or form, but are so reliant on the county that they are the county. And the way those came about was counties saw an opportunity to get debt off their books and not look bad by setting up a component, another entity that owns stuff and go.
Or to circumvent what the board.
That's right, yeah. So then what happened was, it's just become more and more prevalent. They said, hey, this is a sham transaction, because this building authority is you guys. And some person came in and sold you a bill of goods and said it's a separate entity and you got this lease agreement and all this stuff. When in all reality, that was always set up to be you. So what you run into, like when you say the centric code, and I could see where you could make that point of saying, you have written something that contradicts, and they're like, don't care.
Right, and that's been my concern.
And that's a profession right now. That's not stay on. I'm not gonna say it's stay on. That's a profession saying, don't care.
And that's been my concern is, are we gonna jump into something that citizens are gonna be able to come after
Well,
us for?
You know, and again, see, that would be one where, that would be an interesting test case, because like I said, nobody ever looks for a divorce. You guys did. Just to say, when I first came on, that commission came on with the whole intention of a divorce. And the county profession said, why would you want to do that? That's what the whole purpose of this was. And they're saying is because we felt it circumvented the will of the people. You know, well, too late now, they signed it. So all that part was, and when you try to mesh it in, everybody goes, don't worry about that. You're going, but if somebody comes, isn't it gonna be a problem? Don't worry about that. And that's their answer. Anytime there's a conflict, or they're gonna say is, well, you're right, but we're not gonna enforce that, so therefore, it's really not a problem.
I'll ask one, what if this Internal Revenue come along one day and said that those private nonprofit entities ought to be paying taxes on because they were not legitimately county?
Those bonds were blessed when they were issued.
By who?
By the legal counsel, so they would be responsible.
Yeah, legal.
I don't know, is that, it's usually like, not John Twitchell or it's,
Stewart.
Yeah, but that's not the
Stewart.
IRS.
No.
No, but no, it's not, you're right, because they could come in and say, we don't think it meets that criteria.
Yeah, that's all
You bet it could happen, or they could say, well, you did it, it's separate, I mean, that's, all those things could happen, and they're saying, that's over here.
See, nonprofits by themselves should be paying, if they're selling bonds, should be paying taxes on.
So I guess my biggest concern, the state auditor doesn't give a shit if we're in compliance or not with the rules that we have to follow the Century Code. They want us to follow the accounting rules, but they don't give a shit about anything else.
Aren't they supposed to follow Century Code?
No, but see, again, this is the what, in the concept of, you will find in the Century Code places where it's in conflict. And at that time, it's either just kind of smoothed over, or they just said, we're going to go with the national accounting standards. You know, otherwise you'd be basically, and when over every legislative session would be having a,
right,
we got to change the wording here because this wording conflicts with the new standards. And that'd be, so I mean, that's the part where in all those deals, you could always have situations where you go, this is not being done this way anymore. You're right. And like I said, when I just saw them, you know, it's park districts are really doing it a lot, where they're just issuing general obligation bonds without a vote. And
whose blessing is that? Like Onstead Twitchell, or I mean,
they found it in the Century Code. And it's called, and the way they set it up, they got a Century Code section they reference and says this allows us to do it this way.
There's a loophole, and it's up to $4 million or something. There's a section of code that allows you to do bonds for up to a certain amount. And I think it's $4 or $5 million, but without having that ability, authority, without having that people vote on it.
But you're always supposed to have the people vote on stuff.
It hasn't worked out very well it hasn't worked out very well. That's gone, anybody's gone against them.
Oh, that's been done in Fargo. I mean, it's been done all over.
Oh, yeah.
Schools and everything else have used it.
Yeah.
Hey, Barnes County North, that was the whole building authority did for the whole purpose.
Mid-Coda did it.
Yeah.
Still division.
Without the authority of the taxpayers.
Yeah.
And like I know in those schools that first started the building authority, because then they went to certificate of indebtedness and eliminated the building authority. So they just basically moved, just like we talked about with the buyout. They did the buyout and said, now it's gonna be a Mid-Coda school bond, not a Mid-Coda building authority bond, and we're gonna just have it here. And then they don't even reference it because it's so fun. Anyway, this is the part where, you know, again, you know, this is when you're trying to balance off, you're saying what in reality happened compared to what is the legal status. And county standards come in a lot of times and I'll say, this is what's really happening here. They have really gone through leases. The last couple of years have been a big deal with leases because so many of those have been kind of abused, so they don't show debt. But they really have that long-term debt and they just say, I got a lease.
Well, that's what the issue with us is, isn't it? It's over, what's the accounting standards, over 5 years or over 10 years with the lease, like the lease.
So, I mean, this is where, again, technically is the lease, and they get mad at the word lease, and all of a sudden they call it capital finance. You can't call it a capital lease anymore because that's different. So now you call it capital finance. You're going the same document. You go, yeah, we'll call it something different. And that's just the same thing here, where you could easily come back and find some debt interest and use the county could issues, that would buy them out and get them out of it. So if you just said, I want to shut this thing down, then it'd either be as if you could have an addendum to the agreement with Bank of North Dakota to say, we want to have a directly with us and take them out. I don't know if you can legally do that, or we're gonna buy them out and issue new debt to cover. But you can issue a certificate in indebtedness. That's what I think is weird, because you look at that 5% valuation cap for how much debt you can have. That's general. But if you do certificate in indebtedness, there is no cap. You could basically bankrupt the county, borrow up to whatever it there you could, the bank's willing to give. That's just weird, but that's the way they do it. So like I said, probably the one thing, probably the easiest way, if you really want to just get rid of it as a problem, is to find a way to buy them out. After that, you're saying, well, then I have to show them, and we'll just show them and just have that as a component unit that will show them.
Well, you're going up against every big law firm in Fargo if you try to shut the thing down.
Well, yeah, and most people look at you and say, I don't even like you fighting. This is what was set up to do, so let it do it.
Well, yeah, but if you have the people of the county or people of a unit, whatever, voting against it, and it goes against their will whenever ever a board wants to throw it in their face, and they have the ability right now.
That's right. Yeah.
We probably
That's all
have in North Dakota.
I'm kind of against it myself. I mean, the process.
Yeah. Well, we do have a motion on the table from staff,
That the reports be filed
Yeah.
in accordance with
Do we
current
have a
company.
second on that? I guess that's the next question.
To be in accordance with the county standards, not state auditor, because they say, the state auditor says we're filing ours in accordance with the county standards, so. The state auditor doesn't have special. That way as the county standards change, you just keep it up.
Jamie, is that gonna make any difference?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I've
Well,
never,
then can you figure something out for next meeting or?
I can. Let's see if I can figure it out.
Okay.
I mean, technically, I go you get attorney's general opinion and see what they say, and again, put that in a nickel, because it's just an opinion, right?
You know, I just worry about with the, the building authority having a, basically a loan guaranteed by the state of North Dakota. And that's where
It's not guaranteed by the state. It's guaranteed by the county.
Guaranteed by Greek Scott.
But the state of North Dakota carries the note, right?
They would sue you.
Right.
The bondholders carry the note, and there's more than.
There's a lot of different bondholders.
There's a pile of bondholders. I think actually.
Different banks.
One of the banks in Tonus
Different banks.
has First Financial has bonds. No, the Bank in North Dakota is a trustee.
Okay.
They handle the paperwork and the money coming in and out, so they get one big check in and send it out to the people.
Okay.
So, is there a second? Now let it die.
Let it die.
Okay, we'll second that. Okay, motion, Seth's motion dies for lack of second motion. Okay. And we'll just try to do some work on this. Okay. guys?
Yeah, how the other counties are doing it that have building authority.
Yeah.
But
So that actually recorded on their books, every other one.
But why do they feel it's okay? I mean, why do they feel like it's?
They were going off of the intent rather than any conflicts with anything in the century code. So they felt that was gonna trump any other issue was
Okay.
the accounting standard was king over the century code. And again, in a lawsuit, that's when you find out if it was true or not. Because I just, and again, see, the other part that's kind of, and one of it's really kind of goofy because that the nasty opinion, they accept that. To me, they should never let a county send a nasty opinion. They say either do it right or don't send it in.
Yeah.
So that's a part when I see that part of this kind of going, so you're telling me I can just go, yep, it's an adverse opinion, they ignored it. Okay, we're gonna prove them. You're going, how can you prove a report that says it's wrong by your standards? And yet they do. So I'm going, that's the other piece you're going, well, heck, if you're gonna do that, I'll do a SAM report. Let's just put a nasty letter on it, and then we'll go forward, because that's what, then we can get the best of both worlds, because you get your nasty letter, you're happy, and the report numbers make sense to us.
Well, and that's all that's happened in the past.
Yeah, that's.
I'd like to see we send out so these guys, everybody can have the general accounting standard where, what they're coming from, why they see it should be on there, so that everybody can read the general accounting standards.
Well, in short, it's a long-term lease, so it's considered an asset.
Well, again, at the end of the lease, it's also yours.
Right.
So you don't have to, there's no buyout, you don't have to come with more money.
How many years are left?
Yeah, I
on
can say
that?
that, Mike. How many years
We're
left?
about halfway there, aren't we?
I don't remember.
We know.
Because
Actually, I can look.
usually the leases like that are like 15-year lease, like a business.
Well, see, it's really not a lease. That's why I said this is the part where
It really
it's a
is.
bond that they said we're gonna morph into a lease. So this is not, the actual debt is not a lease, it's a bond.
The debt
The
passes
authority
through
has a
the bill.
lease with you.
The debt passes through the building authority. That's all it really is. I mean, the debt is guaranteed by our lease agreement.
Now, see, technically, again, that's part of the building authority, and that's one of our arguments I remember here was actually very legitimate was you could have a rogue board that decided to do a whole bunch of stuff. And now and again, depending on whether people believe you're gonna back it or not, then also you're in court because the building authority defaulted on a loan they had. You're going, well, that's not my problem. They go, well, we trusted them to say it was you, and then also you're in court, you have to try to show that big line of demarcation or something. And that's why I said that, I mean, the ultimate goal you should have is to get rid of the building authority. Or the building authority needs to make sure that they have no authority to do anything else or whatever. And that's why when the commissioners are the building authority, there's not a risk that they're gonna do something that you're not interested in doing.
So when this lease is up, can we get rid of the building?
Well, we don't have the authority to do that. That's by different people, but it'll never happen because those bonds have to be backed by something. So the bond, Bank of North Dakota would never let it happen because they're not backed by a lease, and it would be just a junk bond.
Okay, one last question. Do you have a bill for us?
I'll get you a bill soon.
Okay, just checking.
Yep. Well, I will.
Okay.
Thank you for getting all these audits caught up and everything.
Yes.
That's wonderful
Yeah.
to see.
Yep, it's been
Okay.
an interesting time.
Yeah.
Stories I could tell you.
Thank you, Harold.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Time.
Appreciate you sticking with me. Appreciate that very, very much.
No problem.
All right,
We understand
Thank you.
this takes time. You're trying to do it right for us,
Yeah.
so.
there you go.
Thanks
a lot.
now.
Thank you,
So,
Harold.
so old courthouse, new courthouse. I have one.
I would ask Sam what she thinks.
Oh, go ahead.
For what?
She's shaking her head.
Okay.
So this is
Good
gonna be
answer.
pending
Good
more
enough.
information from Jamie and everything
Yeah.
else. And
We'll table it for right now. Right, Jamie?
Yeah, that's fine. We'll do some research.
Okay. Okay, old courthouse, new courthouse. I have to add to it is Steve Johnson. I talked to him last week.
Who?
Steve Johnson. He's the guy that called me about demolition of the courthouse.
Oh.
You know, and he wants to do a walkthrough on 10 o'clock this Thursday. He's gonna come through here. So at least just get an idea, you know.
Are you gonna go with them?
Yes, I'll be there, so. on that one. So, yeah, anyway.
I have
Anything?
information out to historical architects about updating our registry to get price quotes. So when they come into us, I think I'm gonna try to get 3 quotes.
Okay.
Sound good? Because there's a big list of historical architects, so.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else in old courthouse, new courthouse? guys?
new courthouse, I did a walkthrough about some of the stuff that ain't working right.
Okay,
I'm just a hair busy right now and I apologize.
really? Wonder why that is.
But you guys are on my list to address some of these issues that haven't been working since the place was built. So I walked around, made a list, and then we'll get a lot of it taken care of right away. Some of it's still gonna have to wait just a little bit longer, but we are getting things lined up to get a lot of that stuff fixed and taken care of. So. it's not a huge list, but it's still a list. One of them was a heater. When I did the walkthrough, we went and fired it up. I haven't heard back whether it's still working or not. We fired it up. I stand there and watched it
Is that
run.
the one over here?
No, the one in the bay,
Oh, that one.
Yep. And then I looked at the boiler. Sounds like that's gonna be an easy fix. But yeah, there's an electric heater in there too. We went and fired it up, let it run for 10 minutes. Seemed to be working, nothing was wrong. So we just left it on, and if anything, we can adjust it for, if they need to dial the Rico, then we'll get the floor heat going. We'll get that thermostat going. We gotta fix the thermostat in his office, which is the easy fix. And then judge's chambers, I gotta fix that baseboard, stuff like that. That's a lot of minor stuff. The biggest main thing is the duct work for the air exchange system. I'm gonna have to probably have my boss come look at that. But a lot of that stuff has been addressed and fixed, and working on getting it fixed.
Okay.
So I know that was things that, like I said, stuff didn't work right from when the place was built, and we got to get this fixed. Because we, if we're obviously stuck with this courthouse, we might as well take care of it.
Well, thanks, Josh, for doing that.
So stuff like that. And then when those, I was thinking probably after next meeting, we'll address those issues, and then I can give you guys updates on furthermore. Have you heard it? I know I fixed that one heater. Have you heard any complaints? I mean, I think I got that fixed. So I don't know if the other ones were the same way or not. I don't know. They weren't sure.
Haven't heard anything.
Okay, future business.
I have the tax director is gonna be on, court facility grant, and then.
Jamie. On the audit.
Okay.
Bob Hook.
Bob Hook, yeah.
Or grant writer.
Grant
Probably be
writer.
grant writer.
Grant writer, correct, yeah. Anything else, guys? Okay, my favorite thing is, who's gonna do it?
I'll do it. I'll make a motion for dismissal.
Motion by Averill to adjourn.
Adjourn, yeah.
For a second.
I'll second that.
Second by Zorn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Same sign, motion carried. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
So we adjourned at 11:28.
Jamie.
Yeah.
Next meeting.
Next meeting is at February 24th.
What do you think internal revenue would say?